So recruiting news. We got a little bit of news. Nothing too crazy. So first things first is Kermani has set a date with the Gators to come to for the Utah game, which that's exciting. Could be turmoil if the game doesn't go as we would like it to go. Look, game's close and it's a ball out, not a big deal. If it's a blowout, that could hurt us. It could hurt us regardless if he weren't to go and can anybody else. It's not going to be good, but that's exciting to see. He's going to be there at a big game. The game's sold out already, which I'm sure you guys have heard or haven't heard, or if you're living under a rock, which is just kind of speaks to the energy of this year. And I think everyone's going to start feeling it here. I think as for Florida players, Billy, look, the marketing aspect of things, of pumping up this year's football, just schedule and the coach and the players, I think Florida's doing a phenomenal job. Look, that's part of it. It's all the NIL. It's everything, right? You want to be on TV. You want an opportunity to be part of game day. These things have a factor into it. So that team that's been hired is doing a great job of pumping it up. But then again, with those things create high expectations. And we know as Florida fans, we don't do well with the expectation managing
Patience isn't your finest quality as a fan base in Gainesville.
It is not. So Kermani's visiting. Then we've got Tamarian Parker, who obviously decommitted from Penn State just about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Florida is pushing him heavy. And he came out and said, look, I'm going to make sure that the next time that I commit, that I am fully committed. I don't think he wants to decommit again. So he's going to visit around. He's going to check a few places. I want to say Tennessee's involved with that. Michigan, I think, is also, or Michigan State. And so Florida, he goes, look, Florida has shown me a lot of love. They have been basically at his door every waking moment trying to pull that in. So I love hearing that. That's good stuff for us. We've talked about him on and off, but it came out more that looked like he's excited about where to come. Then we've got Caden McDonald. Caden McDonald is a new one. Again, he's kind of taken his time as well, working up the ranks. He's a 4-star defensive lineman. I feel we have a lot of those guys, but love to hear some more O-line talk, if I'm being honest, from the recruiting aspect of things. But look, you got to fill up these D lines in case guys decommit. So I totally understand that. He's from Georgia. McDonald is right now. He's looking at Clemson is his high one. That's where 247 has him predicted at the moment at a 62% chance to going there. He's 43. He's 328 prospect. Oklahoma, Georgia, NC State, Ohio State, Michigan State, Texas A&M. Those are all schools that are still in the mix. So a lot of options, but he loves the relationship with all those schools and all the coaches, and he still has some official visit plans, and he has a planned visit with, I want to say, us in October, or maybe that's Parker that has one in October. I believe Tamir Parker has a visit. I know he had one, and then he committed to Penn State, and things kind of changed. So, look, there's still some good news coming. It would be a great piece to add to that Kiersey, Kelby, Norman, Hill, and James, that whole line there. But I would love for some more O-line talk. That's what we're looking for here. That's what I'm excited to hear about. We haven't heard nearly enough about it, especially with having 2 offensive lineman coaches. I feel like I know we as Gator fans expected more, and for the fact that we keep losing out on these O-line guys, it kind of hurts a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, to your point about McClain and the fact that he's coming for the Utah game, I don't know if I've ever in the history of following recruiting, and I've been doing this for a long time. I love the off-season part to keep you engaged with football. I don't know if I've ever heard of a player that went for an official visit and said, well, because the team didn't win the game, I'm not considering that team anymore. What you want for this kid, and what it sounds like it's going to be, is the atmosphere. The score of the game, I don't think really has a whole lot of impact on the kid, but the atmosphere of being in that stadium, with it being that packed out, that type of electricity, with it being the opening game for Billy, that's what really captures these kids. Like, Florida State, I'll give you an example. Florida State hosted Lorenzo Booker many, many years ago for the Notre Dame game. Notre Dame came to Tallahassee, and they beat us. Lorenzo Booker committed during that visit, essentially. So it wasn't the game; it was the atmosphere of what he was seeing around him.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be the same thing with McClain. It's just the ability to look up in the stadium and just see it packed out like that. So the outcome of the game, I don't think, is going to be too much to really have an impact on him. But just to your point, I did see that there is a 4-star safety, Bryce Thornton, who is now down to Bama and UF. He visits UF on the 21st of October. That's a new name. I don't think it's anybody that you and I have talked about. He's still got official visits set up to Georgia, I think maybe Texas A&M as well. But that was a new name that just kind of surfaced
He's a
over the
three-star.
week.
Three-star.
Is he three? Okay. On three and 247, always kind of have him flip flop back and forth. But just a new name that's out there, and he's already got things narrowed down from what it looks like to Bama and
Yeah, that'd be great
Florida.
for the depth chart for sure. I mean, we got some safety, but I mean, look, we can't. It doesn't hurt. And we got Desmond Ricks. He's a 5-star cornerback from the 2024 class. He's visiting during that Utah game with Kermani as well too. So,
Yep.
all good stuff. Good news is coming. I think things are going to be quiet from what I can tell. I know they're starting to prep for Utah on Friday, Billy said. So I think that's kind of where everything's headed for, is that first weekend of football now. Now it's just kind of we're in that weird limbo stage of, look, maybe something happens this weekend with recruiting, but I think it could be shut down for the next 2 weeks until we get some
Yeah,
football.
the excitement right now, and from what it looks like Billy's done, is he knows how to play releasing commitments to his favor to keep the excitement at a peak level and maintain that peak level. I think right now the excitement is starting to trend more to actual football. So, a commitment would be great, don't get me wrong, but you don't really need that maintenance of peak excitement, because now it's transitioning more from commitments and recruiting to, we got football in 13 days. And I think that's where you'll see that. And let's be honest, I know a lot of the folks that are on the chat aren't FSU fans, but look, it's game week. We will have college football live on Thursday. And then, of course, we already talked about what the Saturday lineup looks like. So, look, guys, it's here. It's right. It's been knocking on the door with the NFL preseason stuff, but we are
Feels
only
good.
just a couple of days away.
Reminder too, we have our first annual fantasy football draft on Friday with the members.
Pumped.
So if you guys are in that league, don't forget 8:45 Friday. You better dial it in, boys. Okay.
You better be ready. Let's go.